So, hi again sa ating discussion for today and tayo naman ay magpe-proceed sa ating lesson 4. So, for our lesson 4, ang ating magiging topic is all about indigenous science and technology in the Philippines. Okay. So, um, start muna tayo sa ating lesson objectives. So at the end of this lesson, the students should be able to discuss the concept of indigenous science and also to discuss the and um, contribution of indigenous science in the development of science and technology in the Philippines. Okay. So, indigenous knowledge system. So, ito muna yung ating pag-uusapan for today. So before that pala, this lesson is all about the indigenous science and technology in the Philippines. And ang mga Filipinos kasi, especially during the early times, they tried to invent tools that in order for them to help and sa kanilang mga gawain every day. So they also develop alternative ideas in explaining various phenomena and in explaining the world around them. So this system of knowledge is called indigenous knowledge system or indigenous knowledge, which is the foundation of our indigenous science. So today, mas papalalimin at mas papaintindihin pa natin kung ano yung indigenous knowledge system. Okay, so ito na nga, indigenous knowledge system. This is embedded in the daily life experiences of young children as they grow up. So they live and grow in a society where the members of the community prominently practice indigenous knowledge. Their parents, ayan, makita niyo sa picture, their parents and other folks serve as their first teachers, and their methods of teaching are very effective in transmitting cultural knowledge in their mind. Siyempre, sila yung laging nakikita at laging kasama ng mga kabataan. That's why pagtanda nila, yun na rin yung nasa isip nila na ito yung dapat gawin, ito yung mga ginagawa dapat, di ba? So the lessons that they learned are intermittently interwoven or ibig sabihin talagang nandoon na sa kanila and nandoon na sa kanilang culture at sa kanilang environment. So these lessons comprise of good values and life stories of people in their daily life struggles. So, their views about nature, their reflections on their experiences in daily life are evident in their stories, poems, and songs. So, makita natin yung kanilang mga history pagdating sa bagay na to. Sa kanilang mga ginagawa rin sa kanilang environment, sa kanilang culture. So meron ditong makikita tayo na examples of indigenous knowledge that are taught and practiced by the indigenous people. So, pinakauna is the predicting weather conditions and seasons using knowledge in observing animals, behavior, and celestial bodies. So, yung mga bagay na to na itong pinakauna ay nabanggit ko na yan sa inyo before pa. 'Di ba? Another is using herbal medicine, preserving foods, classifying plants and animals, kung saang family ba sila, kung anong groups ba sila, based sa kanilang cultural properties. Preserving and selecting good seeds for planting, using indigenous technology in daily lives. Diba, meron na rin silang technology, but sinaunang klase ng technology. Building local irrigation systems, classifying different types of soil for planting based on cultural properties pa din, and producing wines and juices for from tropical fruits, and keeping the custom of growing plants and vegetables in the yard. So, nakasanayan nila na sila ay magtatanim sa loob ng kanilang bakuran. Okay, so ito yung indigenous knowledge system. Indigenous knowledge. So, how about indigenous science? Ano naman tong indigenous science? So, pag sinabi nating indigenous science, this is the part of the indigenous knowledge system na pinapractice ng iba't ibang tao, iba't ibang mga grupo ng tao sa pinaka-early civilization pa. So it includes complex arrays of knowledge, expertise, practices, representations that guide human societies in their innumerable interaction with different um, different things like our agriculture, medicine, naming and explaining natural phenomena, and strategies para makapag-cope din sila sa paiba't ibang nangyayari sa ating environment. And another, according to Ogawa, 1995, he claimed that indigenous science daw is collectively lived and experienced by the people of a given culture. So according to Ogawa, nandoon naman na yan sa kanilang culture at pinapractice na talaga nila. So yun yung sabi niya. Pero sabi naman nitong si Kahete, isa pang idea about indigenous science. So according to Kahete, indigenous science includes everything. Nagsimula na yun sa metaphysics up to philosophy and even yung various practical technologies na ginagawa ng mga indigenous people simula noon pa hanggang sa present. Yan ay indigenous science according to Kahete. And another, sabi pa ni Iya Carino, 2003. So sabi niya, he elaborated this idea by explaining that science is a part of a culture and how science is done largely depends on the cultural practices of the people. So ang indigenous science daw ay ang science ay nandiyan na, part na ng culture yan. So yung science ay depende na lang doon sa cultural practices nung mga tao na yun, nung group ng tao na yun. So, according to Iya Carino, that is indigenous science. So, sa ating indigenous science, merong binahagi si Johnston 2001, indigenous beliefs also develop desirable values that are relevant or consistent to scientific attitudes. And ito nga na-identify ni Johnston 2001. 2000, I'm sorry. So, ang pinakauna is motivating attitudes. Yan, kapag meron kang nitong indigenous belief, pwede mong ma-develop itong pagiging ma-motivate mo yung sarili mo or even yung ibang tao. Another is cooperating attitudes, your great cooperation to your group, practical attitudes, yung practical na pag-iisip mo, pagdi-decide mo like that, and reflective attitudes. So these four attitudes daw, yung madedevelop coming from the indigenous beliefs. So these cultural beliefs, therefore, can be a good foundation for developing positive values toward learning and doing science and in bringing science in personal level. Okay. Ano pa? So according to CBC, he also pointed out that indigenous science provides the basics of astronomy, even the pharmacology, or yung food technology or metallurgy, which were derived from the traditional knowledge and practices. Kasi nga pag sinabi nating indigenous science or indigenous knowledge, yan yung mga sinauna. And according to CBC, yung mga basics ng ating astronomy pharmacology, makikita na yan dyan sa kanilang mga idea noon pa lang. Okay, so we have also this framework for indigenous science. So itong framework natin ay binubuo ng tatlong bagay. Meron tayong science process skills, community culture and values, and traditional knowledge. Okay, so para sa science process skills, indigenous science uses science process skills such as yung observing, yung comparison mo, pagka-compare sa iba't ibang bagay, classifying, measuring, yung problem solving, and also interfering, communicating, and predicting. So, yun yung mga under ng science process skills. Pagdating naman sa community, culture, and values, so indigenous science is guided by this community, culture, and values, such as the following. O, tandaan nyo. The land is a source of life. So the land is a source of life. It is a precious gift from the Creator. So isa yon sa kanilang pinakatinatandaan. Another, the earth is revered as Mother Earth. The earth is revered as Mother Earth. It is the origin of their identity as people. So ito yung isa sa kanilang talagang tinatanim sa kanilang mga isip, sa puso't isipan. Another is, all living and non-living things are interconnected and interdependent with each other. So, ang mga non-living at ang mga living things daw, may connection yan sa bawat isa. Isa yan. And human beings are stewards or trustee of the land and other natural resources. They have a responsibility to preserve it. No, again ha, they have the responsibility, sino daw? Yung mga humans, na i-preserve yung ating land and natural resources. So, yun yung kanilang pinaniniwalaan. And syempre, tama rin naman yun because humans are responsible pagdating sa pag-preserve ng ating environment. Another is, nature is a friend to human beings. It needs respect and proper care. Okay, di ba napakaganda ng kanilang culture, community values. Again ha, yung pinakalas, nature is a friend to human beings. It needs respect and proper care. So talagang minamahal nila yung kanilang environment, yung kanilang surroundings. Okay? Pagdating naman sa traditional knowledge, ito. Indigenous science is composed of traditional knowledge practiced and valued by people and communities such as ethnobiology, ethnomedicine, indigenous farming methods, and folk astronomy. So, yung mga sinaunang mga idea sa pangkagamot, idea about sa form ng katawan ng tao or yung mga hayop, mga halaman, indigenous farming methods, even yung farming methods, they have their own method yan. And folk astronomy, yung mga basic ng astronomy, yung mga na-discuss ko rin sa inyo before, kung paano nila ma-identify yung mga posisyon ng mga heavenly bodies, mga ganyan, or sun or buwan, di ba? So, yan yung kanilang mga part nitong indigenous science. Kinabibilangan ng indigenous science. Okay. So, itong lesson 4 is very short discussion lang, kaya pinagsama ko na sila ng lesson 3 na ibigay sa inyo. So, indigenous science, magbibigay lang tayo ng konting recap. Indigenous science is very important. This is important in the development of science and technology in the Philippines. Like the ancient civilizations, indigenous science gave birth to the development of science and technology as a field and as a discipline. And also, indigenous science helped the people in understanding the natural environment and in order for them to cope with their everyday life. Okay. So that's why very important na malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung meaning na indigenous science, indigenous knowledge system. Okay? So, I hope this time sa ating lesson 4, meron pa rin kayong mga natutunan, may mga bagong kaalaman ulit kayong nalaman. So, ayan. So, that's all for today. And thank you for listening and watching.